So now we are going to continue from where we stopped. Okay, so please check the last video, check the last video, check the previous video, which is actually the first video of this series. Because I said I'm just going to explain how I was able to build out the HealthBuddy villa. How I was able to build it out by tweaking the already existing VAPI example, right? So I just tweaked that and built the head body, and I'm looking forward to still expanding it. But for now, I just want to share how I was able to do that, and the process, what the technology stacks I was able to incorporate. For example, I work with VAPI AI for the voice, make.com for the automations, yeah, and then I'm using SJS. So let's continue from where we stopped, where we stopped from the first video, which is the previous video. Okay, so let's go to the assistants. I was explaining something on the assistants. I was explaining something here. If you can't see my, okay, not here. I was explaining something here, assistant.ts. Yeah. So I was explaining something from the last time. I said that when the application starts off and the user hits the button, okay, the start button or the record button, what happens from here? You're seeing something appointment setup view here. Then you see the assistant button. So when the user hits the button, the toggle call function is called. Okay. Here there's also call status. There's toggle call. Yeah, the toggle call function is called. Now this toggle call function, if you go to the, yeah, let's go down button here. So this is the toggle call 0. Here we are using we are accessing this from the use VAPI hooks. Okay. Okay. So what is clicked? Toggle call is triggered. Now when toggle call is triggered, let's go here. Toggle call is triggered, like a callback. It's triggered. Okay. The call status is set to active, right? If call status is to call status active, shows this, right? Okay. So now let's go to the index. If you can see, yeah, this is exactly where the assistant is being called. Okay. Now I'm just taking you back on the level. So this is that assistant. Okay, assistant function, and this call. Now this toggle call callback, okay, from that assistant button you just saw. Okay. Now these are coming from the use VAPI function. Okay. So to go back to this use VAPI and see from the hook, from the right, you have the use VAPI from the hooks. So now when that toggle call is triggered, which is this, right? One of the function here. Just trying to scroll. One of the functions here, yeah. So when it's triggered, we're checking if the call status is active. So if it's active, it stops. Okay. If not, it starts. So what is on the stats? Let's check out stats and see. So start here, we set the call status to loading, and VAPI starts with the assistant. Now this assistant gets started, loaded, right, onto VAPI. So let's go to the assistant. so that you will be able to like imagine what's going on. As soon as that user clicks on the button, this assistant gets this EVAPI gets started off with this assistant. Okay, so where is this assistant? This is the assistant here. This is the assistant here, and the assistant gets to start executing the functions, right? So imagine here being executed, and then the prompt. This is the prompt. Now the assistant starts and say, okay, how do you feel, right? How do you feel? Describe your symptom and all. Now the user describes their symptom or how they feel. Suggest specialty, then gets executed. Suggest specialty function gets executed. Now let's just brush through the entire functions we have here. We have suggest specialty with the properties of symptoms. So this intent will be like taken from the communication or conversation from the user when the VAPI AI voice asks the user how are they feeling. Okay, so if the user describes how they feel, the symptoms intent here is taking strapped, which is like the symptoms or condition described by the user. This is like description of what we need to be trapped or to be taken, or with the interested thing we need from the conversation that the user would have actually alter. Okay, so we have that, and then we have check availability. What this function is doing here is to check the doctor's availability for a specific specialty based on the user's given day or time. So if the user have said the day or time they would want to see the specialist, this function gets triggered. Okay. So what is this function interested in when it's getting triggered? Uh, Now for the AI agent will ask the user what's day and time, right? So once the AI agent asks the user what's day and time, it starts listening for this particular thing. It gets interested on this, the medical specialist the user needs. So the user has already said the specialist they need based on what they are going through. The day, the day for the requested appointment, the time for the requested appointment. So these are the things that are being trapped, right, from the conversation uttered by the user. So here, book appointment is another function that says, okay, schedule an appointment for the user with a doctor, right, or with a specialist. Okay, the name of the doctor, the medical specialty the user needs, the day of the appointment, the time of for the appointment, and the patient's name, the phone number of the patient with this country code, the symptoms complained about by the patient for which they are booking an appointment. Okay, now these are just like a run through of the function, and then we have here we have the voice from 11 Labs. Voice ID is Paula. Okay, then the first message: Hi, I'm Cassie. I can help you book healthcare appointment and suggest the right specialist for a condition. Please tell me about your symptoms or let me know what you need assistance with. So this is what starts off, right? And then the user responds. Okay, so from the response, either of these functions start getting executed. Okay, so right now, suggest specialty should get fired, right? Once the AI asks the user this question, okay, let me know how you feel, right? So please tell me about your symptoms. Okay. Now this server URL is just the backend, the server that will process as soon as this utterance is going through the server we are hitting, right? For the process of what is for the process of the functions. Okay. So let's look at the suggest specialty function. Once that is being triggered, what happens next is here we have sorry, excuse me, we have the webhook, right, which is the first from the server URL we have there, right? Here, what's going on here? We are checking, okay. Although this is not actually. So what happens now? Let's go to the UI and see um Let's go to the UI, assistant, appointment setup. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Now, because this is the UI that the user is going to be, that the user is going to see, right? So here we began to assess on use effects. We began to assess what the function being called is, right? So here on message update, so here is like a function that here is like a function that gets executed when there is a message. Like Vapi has a message, okay? Vapi has got a message, and that message is coming from Vapi has got a message, right? Uh, so this particular function gets executed, and now we're checking the message type as well as the function call name, right? We're checking, okay, this is a suggest specialty function being called because the user has altered something related to this suggest specialty, as you all have seen earlier from the description of the